Hi, I'm Amanda Veneman. I'm a registered dietitian with Flik Hospitality, and this is Ellie. She is my 3-year-old daughter, and today we are making banana oatmeal chocolate chip cookies. And those are the 3 ingredients that we're using today: bananas, oats, and chocolate chips. Super simple. It's a great recipe to make with kids because of how simple it is. She's 3, but she's been helping me do this since she was 2 years old. So first, we're going to start with turning the oven on. So anytime you're baking something, you want to make sure to turn the oven on before you start prepping the ingredients. That way it's ready for you whenever you're done putting the ingredients together. You don't have to look at the camera anymore. You can look wherever you want. So I always line my pan with parchment paper. You can get the Silpat liners for this or for baking. I just don't have one of those. I've had them in the past, and honestly I'm really bad at doing the dishes, and I didn't like having to finagle it in the sink. So we put the parchment paper on, and we're gonna start assembling the ingredients. Are you ready? Yeah. So we started with 2 bananas. So for this recipe, it's kind of like a ratio-based recipe. So you, for every 1 banana, you will use 1 cup of oats. And we used old-fashioned oats, so that'll give it kind of a heartier texture. They don't really cook in this process. So you could use quick cooking oats if you wanted to, and that would be a little softer. Ellie's getting into our ingredients here, of course. So yeah, that's the type of oats we use, and it's a 1 banana to 1 cup of oats ratio. We actually didn't have any ripe bananas on hand, so I pulled some from our freezer stash that we cut up and use in our smoothies, and just thawed them in the microwave on like a 50% power, so that didn't make them like totally mushy. So they still have a little texture to them. So we've mashed those up and stirred them around. And then Ellie, can you add in the oats to the big bowl? Yes, pour those in this bowl. Good job. All right, can you start stirring it together? So one thing I'll add about this recipe is while you're mixing it together, it may seem like you have more oats than what you need, but that's fine. So just keep mixing, keep going, and it should come together. You can always add more banana if you have it, or a little bit of milk to kind of loosen up the batter. You want to go ahead and add the oats or the chocolate chips in as well. So for this recipe, we like to use mini chocolate chips. I feel like they distribute themselves amongst the cookies better. So that's just personal preference. You can bulk these cookies up however you want. You can add nuts, you can add hemp parts, you can add chia seeds if you want to increase the nutrition, or if you have a kiddo who you feel like isn't eating enough calories and you want to kind of give them a little bit more fats and proteins. That's a great way to hide nutrition boosting foods in cookies, or food that you know that they'll eat. I love this recipe even for someone who's about to go exercise. If it's been a couple hours since they had a meal and they know they need a little bit of energy to get them through that exercise period, you can grab one of these little cookies and eat it. You don't have to add the chocolate chips. We just add them because we want it to be a sweet afternoon treat, pick me up. We want them to be sweet. Yeah, of course you do. So while she mixes these together, I'm gonna get my cookie scoop. Found it. Oh. So we use this little disher, this is what it's called, and this way that the cookies will all be even and they'll cook evenly in the oven. But you can use anything. You can scoop it with a spoon and then just kind of flatten them out. They don't flatten out on their own in the oven, so you can press them down to whatever shape you want them to be in. So we're gonna get going making the cookies. Let me see this. You did a great job, Ellie. Do a little extra mixing for you. Here, can I show an example? See how it's still kind of loose and it's not kind of forming a dough, but as you continue to mix it, it will come together nicely. This is what we use to pick up our ice cream. That's right. Some people call them an ice cream disher. There you go. I'll put it over here on the pan. Squeeze it. There you go. And that's how it's done. So I've put all the cookies on the cookie pan, and you can put them as close together as you want because, like I said earlier, they don't really spread. You just want to give them a little bit of space to get nice brown edges. They will come together really nicely. What I like about this recipe too is that it is pretty allergy friendly. So if your kiddo or you are allergic to eggs or dairy, this is a great simple recipe to where you can just make some homemade cookies, get that treat in, but also be wary of their allergies. And you can get gluten-free oats. You want to look on the label for a certified gluten-free. A lot of them do have like cross-contamination during the processing, so you want to look for that if gluten is a concern to you. So we're going to put them in the oven, like I said, on 350 degrees for anywhere from like 10 to 15 minutes. You can turn the pan halfway if you want. This recipe's not super finicky like most cookies are, which is what I like about it. So everything. Alright. So I try and include Ellie in the kitchen pretty often if I can. It does make things more complicated. They make a mess. They want to touch things that they're not supposed to touch, but it's all kind of a learning process, and the more we do it together, the better she gets at helping out. I think any interaction that you can give kids with food is a positive one, and just gets them involved and they feel like they are contributing to the family and have responsibility. So now that we're home together all day, it's been really nice to be able to do some things in the kitchen. She helps me every day make little non-bread pizzas, and I'm gonna get her to where she can make them on her own as long as I set out the ingredients. It's kind of my goal for this time together until she starts back at school. So I hope you're able to get your kids in the kitchen and have some fun, make memories. Hope you have a great day. You want to say bye?